Imagine walking through the hot desert air of Egypt, with the sun blazing above you and the sand glowing like gold under your feet. In the distance, you see the great pyramids rising out of the desert like ancient giants. They've stood here for more than 4,000 years, longer than any empire, longer than any language, longer than almost any human-made structure on Earth. But behind their beauty lies something deeper, something darker, the secrets of the pharaohs. For centuries, people around the world have wondered, who were these rulers? How did they build such impossible monuments? And what secrets did they take with them to the grave? Today, we're going to uncover the mysteries that still surround the pharaohs, mysteries of lost tombs, strange rituals, curses, murder, and power that shaped one of the greatest civilizations in human history. To understand the pharaohs, picture the Nile River, long, green, and full of life. Everything in Egypt depended on it. Whoever controlled the Nile controlled the kingdom. That's why the pharaoh wasn't just a king. He was seen as a living god. His words were law, his image was sacred. His duty was to keep order between life and death, between the gods and the people. But being a living god came at a high price. Enemies were everywhere, danger was constant, and death was something the pharaohs feared more than anyone. And so they prepared for it like no one else in history. One of the greatest mysteries of ancient Egypt is the pyramids themselves. How did people thousands of years ago, with no machines, no electricity, and no modern tools, build structures so massive and so perfect that even today we have trouble explaining them? The stones weigh as much as cars. The blocks were carved with incredible precision. The pyramids are aligned almost perfectly with the stars. Was it skilled engineering? Was it thousands of workers pulling together? Or did they know something that modern experts don't? Archaeologists believe workers used ramps and ropes, but no one knows what kind of ramp system could lift millions of heavy stones so high. Some theories say the ramp spiraled inside the structure. Others say the workers dragged the stones up giant sand ramps that were later removed. But no theory is perfect, and every answer brings more questions. The truth is, the Great Pyramid is still one of the greatest engineering mysteries ever. But the pyramids weren't just monuments, they were gateways to eternity. The pharaohs believed that when they died, they would travel to the afterlife to live forever. But the journey was dangerous, so they filled their tombs with treasures, food, weapons, jewelry, furniture, and even boats. Everything they needed for eternity was placed inside. But this created a new threat, tomb robbers, and this is where the dark side begins. To protect their tombs, the pharaohs built fake passageways, trapdoors, secret chambers, and hidden designs meant to confuse anyone who dared enter. Some tombs were so well hidden that they stayed buried for thousands of years. Others contained warnings written on the walls, terrifying messages meant to scare off thieves. They spoke of curses, sickness, and death to anyone who disturbed the king's rest. Most people today know about the pharaoh's curse because of King Tutankhamun's tomb. When the tomb was discovered in 1922, several people involved died shortly afterward under strange circumstances. Some believe it was bacteria trapped in the tomb. Others still think it was something more, an ancient curse protecting the boy king. Whether you believe in curses or not, one thing is clear: the pharaohs wanted to keep their secrets buried forever. But let's talk about the darkest secret of all: mummification. Most people think of mummies as bodies wrapped in cloth. But the real process was far more detailed and honestly a bit disturbing. First, the body was washed. Then the organs were removed: the liver, stomach, lungs, and intestines, and placed in jars. The brain, it was pulled out through the nose with a special hook. Egyptians didn't think the brain mattered. The heart, on the other hand, was left inside because they believed it held a person's soul. The body was then packed with materials to keep its shape and dried out with special salts for over a month. Priests chanted spells and used sacred oils to protect the soul. The goal wasn't just to preserve the body, it was to prepare it for eternity, to wake up again in the afterlife, looking almost exactly the same. But not every pharaoh's afterlife was peaceful. Many suffered betrayal, conspiracy, or even murder. One of the most mysterious pharaohs was Akhenaten. He tried to change the entire religion of Egypt by forcing everyone to worship just one god, the sun. People were furious. When he died, his name was scratched off monuments, his statues destroyed, and his ideas erased. To this day, experts still debate how he died and why he made such a dangerous choice. Then there's King Tut, the boy king. His reign was short, his life was short, and his death is still a mystery. His body shows injuries that could be from an accident or an attack. Was he killed? Was it a palace conspiracy? No one knows for sure. But his tomb is the greatest clue we have. It was packed with treasures so beautiful and so valuable that it stunned the world when it was opened. Gold, jewels, chariots, weapons, all untouched for over 3,000 years. If all that was in the tomb of a boy king, imagine what lies in the tombs of the greatest pharaohs, still hidden somewhere in the sand. And yes, many tombs are still undiscovered. Egypt is like an endless puzzle. Under the desert are tunnels, chambers, temples, and lost cities waiting to be found. Every year, new discoveries change what we know about ancient Egypt. Some archaeologists believe the Great Pyramid might contain secret rooms that have never been opened. Others think the tomb of Queen Nefertiti might still be out there. Imagine finding a chamber that hasn't seen light for thousands of years. Imagine being the first person to step inside. But here's something most people don't know. The pharaohs didn't just control the land. They controlled history itself. They decided which stories were told, which names were remembered, and which enemies were erased. They carved their victories on stone walls, even battles they didn't win. They erased the names of people they hated, believing that if their name vanished, their soul would vanish too. In a way, the pharaohs used history as a weapon. That's why ancient Egypt feels so mysterious. What we know today is only what survived, and only what the pharaohs wanted us to see. So much is missing. So much was destroyed, and so many secrets remain hidden beneath the desert. But maybe that's what makes the pharaohs so fascinating. They lived in a world of gods and magic, power and danger, beauty and fear. They built monuments to last forever. They prepared for a life after death. And they left us wondering how such an ancient civilization could be so advanced, so mysterious, and so captivating. Every discovery brings us closer to the truth. But the more we learn, the more questions appear. Were the pharaohs hiding something bigger? What knowledge did they guard so closely? And what secrets are still waiting to be uncovered? One thing is certain, as long as the pyramids stand, the mysteries of the pharaohs will continue to inspire curiosity, wonder, and awe. And somewhere under the sand, the next great discovery is waiting.